In this episode, I'm going to look at something and review something completely different. And to give you some background, when I left school, I went to study mechanical engineering. The reason I did that is because I love technology. I love the way the human spirit dreams today and achieves tomorrow. How we push ourselves to achieve our dreams. Technology stands still for nobody. Give you an idea on that. When we were growing up, we saw a TV program called Knight Rider, and it was just amazing how the car spoke to Michael Knight and how he spoke back to the car. Now, when my kids look at that program, they laugh at it and think it's funny and just weird. Now, the reason for that is because you have cars like these, technologically advanced cars, marvels of technology, if you want to call it, because yes, the car does speak to you. Yes, the car does give you commands. Yes, you can speak to the car. You can give it voice commands. The car knows off GPS when to apply engine braking, when not to, when to let it continue freewheeling, when you've got cruise control to be adaptive slowdown, when to help you with lane assist and all of that. These cars are so highly intelligent nowadays, they can even park themselves. So what we as children looked at and thought is futuristic, the human spirit has achieved. So in this episode, I want to look at this car from an engineering marvel, from how far the human spirit has pushed technology. And yes, it's BMW's flagship, if you want to call it, when it comes to technology. And yes, some of you will hate it or love it, whether it's the shape you love or hate, or whether it's the EV or battery driven cars you love or hate. But that's not what I'm here to discuss. We all have our own tastes, and that's what's so stunning. We have something for everybody. What I want to focus on in this episode is, let's see how far technology has come today. And it's always stunning, the cross-pollination from cars to bikes and vice versa, how technology is shared between the two on a manufacturer, and especially a manufacturer like BMW that does both 2 wheels and 4 wheels. Here we have the BMW iX40. Now the prefix iX BMW has given to the EV vehicles, electric vehicles or battery operated vehicles. There are 3 variants in this range, the iX40, the 50 and the iX60. Now the biggest technical difference between those 3 would be the battery that sits at the bottom here, the lithium battery. The reason I say that is because the battery is what gives you your performance, your power and your range. Now, firstly, the iX40 is the spiritual successor of the X5, and it would compete against cars in the market such as the Jaguar I-Pace, Audi e-tron, Mercedes EQS, Porsche Taycan, Tesla Model Y. To clarify what I said about the biggest technical difference between the variants being the battery, let me explain the difference between the iX40 and the iX50. The iX40 here in front of me has the 75 kilowatt hour battery. The 50 has the 105 kilowatt hour battery. The difference in power output, this is a 326 brake horsepower versus a 523 brake horsepower on the iX50. The range would be about 400 versus 500 kilometers, and the 0 to 100 figures would be 6.1 seconds on this, not too shabby. And the iX50 has 4.6 seconds 0 to 100, and the iX60 goes right down to 3.8 seconds, which is monstrous for these heavy SUVs. Now again, sport SUV. However, the IX40, no slouch at 6.1 seconds 0 to 100, is more focused on comfort and luxury than sport. You're talking about less hurried, more comfort, more plush, and home on wheels. Impressive and vast amount of technology on this vehicle. Now, to start off, if I open this door, you can see most of this cockpit is actually carbon fiber. Have a look at this. It is exposed carbon fiber. I don't know if it comes out that well on the camera, but absolutely stunning. Plush inside. You talk jewel-like controls. If you look at this cut crystal on the wood, those are all additionals you can spec. And yes, going to the front, here we're talking about a self-healing plastic on the kidney grille. Yes, self-healing. If it has a scratch, some heat and some time, and that scratch disappears. Look at these frameless windows. Technologically on cutting edge. Absolutely stunning machine. BMW iX40. I'm just going to walk around this car and share with you some of the awesome features. Whether you love or hate this shape, whether you love or hate EV cars, you have to admire where BMW have gone with technology. Now, having a look at this being an EV car, from a maintenance level, this bonnet you can no longer open. No maintenance. It has to be taken to a BMW dealer. The only thing you can do is push this badge in front here, and here you fill your water for your windscreen sprayer. Again, as mentioned before, this plastic on the grille in front here is self-healing. So if it gets a stone chip or scratch, with some heat and some time, it will heal itself. Now, if you look at these BMW laser lights, really awesome and cool. Other than that, the car has sensors, cameras, distance sensors for active cruise control. Going around to the side, you have folding mirrors. Opening and closing this car, if you touch these three lines, you'll see the car locks itself. You see the red line, the mirrors fold back. When you come to open it, you'll see this red light goes green. Put my hand underneath here, pull, and you can see the light goes green. And it even has this soft close. So if you do this, you see the door pulls itself closed. Window closes. Absolutely stunning. Looks super cool with those frameless windows. Now, if you look at the interior, is this not all about luxury? Have a look at these cut crystals to adjust the seats. Push button to open the door. The Harman Kardon sound system. If you look inside, look at these high seats all the way. Stunning, plush if you sit in them. If I jump inside, have a look at this infotainment. Here, absolutely massive right across the car. It's pretty uncluttered and all of that. Here again, these are optional extras when you spec it. You've got cut crystal control over here on that natural wood. Your tiny little controls, all crystal. Your compartments here, ample. That leather seat, it's far more luxurious than my lounge at home. If I close this door, if you look at here, to close and open, to open the door here. However, if the battery doesn't work and you need to open and this fails, BMW has a lever down at the bottom. Over here, I'll show you this. So you can open it, you're never stuck. So stunning. Even this futuristic steering wheel works well. It looks good. It feels good in your hands. And going to the back, opening the back door, here you can see plush and huge amounts of space. If I jump inside, have a look at this high seat in front of you here. Here you have USB sockets to charge your phones or your iPads. If you pull this down, people ask what that's for. That is to fix or mount your iPad, and then you can have like a TV screen. The kids can watch movies. Stunning. Here in the middle, you've got a climate control. You can change and adjust for both sides. At the bottom, you don't have any tunnel over here, so you can easily fit 3 occupants in here. And with this battery sitting in the floor, you still have enough space to put your feet under the chair. And have a look at the space I have between my knees and the chair in front. When it comes to headroom, as you can see, ample space to the top and fantastic. While I'm sitting in the back, to show you the sunroof, yes, you get natural light in, however it's blocked out. If I move forward and just push this button over here, you can see it has different settings and you can actually get more and more light through and actually see through. So stunning, spacious, home away from home. Long journeys, no problem. I think there's more space and comfort in here than the range of the battery. On that, the range on average between high consumption, low consumption, you're talking just over 400 kilometers, 425 down to 375. So I would say in the mix, comfortable 380 kilometers. When it comes to the charging port, right rear, monster flap over here, and you've got your AC and your DC ports over here. For charging, your cables are supplied, and again, that is tech and info I'm not going to get into right now because that is very deep. Looking at the lights, locking the car, and then opening the car with the indicators and the lights. Stunning look. And when opening, you can see quite spacious. 500 liters capacity over here. Electronically, the seats will fold flat, giving you 1,750 liters space in the car. Down here, you have your charging cables. Everything is here. You can remove these privacy covers on it. However, it is a bit weird at first glance because half your boot space is lost by these sort of intrusions, if you want to call it that. But I think not bad for a boot. Also, you can fold it individually. And here, should you get locked in the back, you can pull this lever and escape. Again, you can push the button and lock it electronically. There's also a sensor at the bottom where you can put your foot underneath and it'll open and close electronically. Tow bar, yes, you can tow with this car. An unbraked trailer, 750 kilos, a brake trailer, 2.5 tons. Yes, that'll obviously dramatically affect your range on your battery, but again, you have to choose what is your application for a stunning car like this. I think the specification on this car is extremely high. It is stunning all round. The tinted windows, it's a minimalistic look and feel on the inside. The drive is a different experience if you're not used to EV cars. No sound, quietness. I mean, the IX40 has air suspension. This is normal suspension, so it absolutely floats. It's the insulation is so good. There's very little noise, wind noise or anything like that in a car like this. Now, just to recap on some of the specs of this BMW iX40, you're talking about 326, nearly 330 brake horsepower. The torque on this car is 630 Newton meters, monstrous. So you can see for towing, no problems. 2 engines on it. It's all-wheel drive. Acceleration 0 to 100 is 6.1 seconds. Top speed would be around about the 200 kilometers an hour. And the range on the vehicle, 425 to 375, depending how hard you go for it and how much acceleration. SUV. Weight of this vehicle, obviously with this battery in here, you're talking just over 2.4 tons. The wheelbase is quite a long 3 meters, which makes the turning circle monstrous at 12.3. You're talking just under 5 meters long, 4.9. And as I said, you can tow trailer, 750 kilos unbraked and 2.5 tons braked trailer. I think let's jump inside and go for a drive. Jumping in this car, it's really alien and it takes some getting used to because it's ultra quiet, devoid of all sound. I mean, if I put my foot on the brake, push the start button, the car's on. All you hear, there's a little ding and off we go. Car's on. I pull this little crystal cut lever back and I'm in drive. Still nothing. There are no paddles, there's nothing, no gear lever. Foot off the brake, and here we go. Absolutely quiet, And we're talking about a massive car here, over 2.4, just shy of 2.5 tons, yet with this high torque of over 600 Newton meters, if you do step on it, it really does push you forward. It's quite strong, but I mean, it's high, and as you accelerate, it does drop off. We'll do some 0 to 100s just now, a rapid 6.1. So most combustion engines struggle to do that. You need quite a strong engine to do that, and now you're doing it with a 2.5 ton car, so quite powerful at 325 plus brake horsepower. If I push here, quiet, I'm moving, you hear a little bit of road noise on the tires, the steering wheel, everything is tactile, plush, everything works. I mean, the information, you really need to back off so that you don't really touch and play with this. You need a little bit of self-restraint and control. It is absolutely stunning. It feels like the car is rolling. It's really weird sensation. As mentioned, no sound, devoid of all sound. Your typical traditional controls, whether it's paddle shift or gear lever, whether there's vibrations in the seat telling you to change gear, or engine noise revving telling you to do something, nothing happening here. The feedback on the steering wheel, I would say, is not much. So from a sporty ride, I don't know, not too much feedback yet. The car is super smooth, and if I push this lever back a second time, the car will do the engine braking for you, otherwise it just rolls. It is stunning. These seats are plush, soft, good comfort. However, if you do sporty riding, there's no support here, but I don't think that was the aim of the IX40. It's just the all-round visibility with a rear view mirror and the mirrors with a curve here, even a warning light if somebody's in your blind spot. There's not too much to speak about blind spot. The visibility on this vehicle is absolutely stunning all round. You have a heads-up display. As mentioned, these cars can be spec'd with a wheel size, colors, and these crystal and wood finishes. You can go to town and really add another 20% to the purchase price. And if you fully spec one of these cars, I think you could even get yourself into an IX50. But I'm fortunate, I've got the privilege of playing with a really highly spec'd IX40. Stunning, power's absolutely brilliant. I've been playing with it for some time, so, you know, pushing foot down really hard on the accelerator does tend to affect your range on these EV vehicles. Also, on a really cold day, which in South Africa we don't have too much, does drop the range a little bit. So these are little challenges that you need to get used to, but we're creatures of comfort. So if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and embrace technology like this, I think it's quite an interactive and interesting journey to go with. I mean, there's so much to look at. The animation on the dash, it's absolutely brilliant. The steering wheel feels great in your hand. It feels like you're in a lounge. In some way, I wish this would give you a massive range of 600 kilometers or more, because the comfort is of such a level that you can comfortably take on a long journey for a good couple of 100 kilometers. And I just think as technology goes, that will improve. And if you need more range for your application of driving, you can go for the IX50 and the 60, which gives you more range. There's so much information here that it could distract you. You have to restrain yourself. The information, for example, if you look at this dash, it's absolutely stunning. You can see the animation of the car with like a end game here, the wall at the end, 56 kilometers. The battery is nearly done. My range is 56 kilometers, but it's cool in the animation over here. The dash, futuristic over here. You can set everything up. You can see your kilowatt hours being used. Now, that's maybe on some level for most people too technical, but for me, with a technical background, it's super cool. All the gizmos and reading how many kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers are being used. It's a real nerdy car, if I can put it this way. Some people will just drive and love the luxury and the quietness, and it's definitely, you feel like you have arrived, you've made it in life in a car like this. But if you're a bit of a tech geek and you like specs and technology and all of that, this car will keep you busy and entertained at all times. The car is so interactive with you if you want to, and give you information and tell you what to do. It's effortless. Everything just works on just an amazing level. All the controls. I mean, where do you fault a car like this? On a technology level, all the information is here, the speeds and the power and the consumption, and it's just fantastic for me, who's a bit of a tech geek or a nerd, if you want to call me. I just love it. Tells you how many kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. The average should be 25 per 100 kilometers. Currently I'm sitting at 32 kilowatt hours per 100, which tells you I've been riding this car quite sportily. My range has dropped down now to 47 kilometers, so I should make my way back to the dealership and return the car. Unfortunately, price tag is quite hefty for these EV vehicles. However, technology always comes at a premium. The riding experience and the cabin is so quiet that you could be so petty and actually ask BMW to line these door inserts where you put your keys or your phones with material or felt, because you can actually hear things rattle around and roll around. When you hear a vehicle has 2.5 tons weight, you actually think you're driving a truck or something that'll be a slouch. However, the combination of performance on this car, quality of ride, is astounding, because the performance at 6.1 seconds 0 to 100 with 600 Newton meter, it pushes you forward and really pushes you back in the seat. It's a lot of fun to drive. And here, speed bumps, the suspension is actually brilliant. I've driven cars that don't even weigh a ton that cannot perform suspension wise like this. Yes, they tell me the X40 with the air suspension floats goes even better than this, but that would be over the top. This ride is brilliant. For a car of this weight, the suspension is more than adequate. It's actually spoiling you. The performance is great, and it is definitely something to get used to, driving something so quiet. If you're on a poor road, you can hear a little bit of rolling noise from the tires. However, I'm going to take it onto the highway now, and let's see what the wind noise is like. But here at 70 kilometers an hour, nothing. It is absolutely, it's on another level. Technology wise, cruise control, adaptive cruise control, lanes assist, this car just does everything for you. If it needs to brake, if you got your navigation GPS, it knows when to continue freewheeling, rolling, not giving you resistance. When there's an intersection, traffic circle, it knows when to do some engine braking for you. Like here, it's just rolling ahead. I'm making space for somebody. It is warning me on the steering, on lane change. Everything is there. Again, I'm not here to debate whether it's great or fantastic, whether you love the technology or don't love the technology. I'm here to just enjoy and marvel at how far technology has come and how much fun it is to play with technology, and it's impressive what BMW can do. This EV technology, again, the limitation for it for now would be the range. On a car like this, the only place I could fault the BMW X40 would be the range. If they could add another 100 to 200 kilometers to this range, even get 500 kilometer range, it would be absolutely brilliant, this type of car. On that point, to do it a fast charge, a public fast charge point, if you charge it 80%, meaning that you get to the charging station with 20% charge left, you can do that in approximately 2 hours. So if you stop somewhere for lunch on a longer journey, within 2 hours you will have a full charge. what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go onto the highway because I want to push it up to 120 kilometers per hour and just hear what the wind noise is like. Take the air condition down a little bit and just to hear what the noise levels are like on the highway, also to see how it runs. I've set it so that it has minimal engine braking, and here on a 360 loop, this car just handles beautifully. The power steering, just looking for a little bit of open road to step on it to see what the acceleration's like, because playing around on the back roads and twisty roads, it's really impressive how this car does push you back. And for something as big and as heavy as this, it is super impressive. And the difference again with a combustion engine, it grows gradually, the power. With these EV cars, it's the other way around. It gives you maximum low down, and as you accelerate, it tapers off the push into the seat. So all around, a completely different experience, sensory, auditory, it's just all around very different. I'm doing 84 kilometers an hour, stepping on, and woo, absolutely wild. Didn't expect that, and way over the speed limit within seconds. I went 20% over the speed limit in a hurry over there. So to recap and my conclusion, love it or hate it. Some people love the technology of EV cars, some people hate it. Some people hate this new look with a big kidney grill in front. Some people say this is a big lump. But one thing I must say, my perspective, my conclusion would be, love it or hate it. From a technological engineering point of view, this is a flagship. This is a marvel, actually. I found it fascinating driving this. Yes, it did change my perception and perspective where this technology is going. It is super interesting, and as a bit of a tech geek, a nerd if you want to call it, when it comes to technology, I do enjoy technology. I embrace it, and it is really, it blew me away what this technology by BMW is all about. And it's challenged every sense of mine, motion, sound, the whole driving experience. I've been driving for over 30 years, and it's just, it's wild, it's different. So I would say, before you judge, go and test an EV car. And if you have the chance, maybe the BMW IX40. This is a flagship when it comes to EV cars. Comfort next level. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please remember, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. Most important of all, guys, please hit that subscribe button to help me build the channel. And if you like, the reminder bell so you always know when I'm uploading something new.